seconds for a long field goal.
Sorsby up top in danger territory. It's picked off by Hartzog. Atonement and redemption for Hartzog.
Day by day, we get better and better. Till we can't beat beat. Won't beat beat.
Hey everybody, welcome in to another episode of Day by Day. And look at this group. This is a good looking group here. We're all together. How are you guys doing?
Ready to rock.
You're doing so great. All right. Well, I'm James.
I'm jealous. Andrew still has sunlight right now, but
I do. Yeah,
here.
West Coast here.
I'm James with Andrew, Mike, and Alex, and we have a lot to cover. And we'll get to that in a minute. Tell you about the show. You can find us on characterchronicles.com, YouTube, Apple, Spotify. Give us a like and subscribe. Helps more people find us. We really appreciate you tuning in. Okay, we got a lot to cover, so we're just going to get right into it. But first, we got to start with Mike. You had a banger of a tweet this week on Saturday morning.
Unfortunately.
Right after college game day. Lee Corso, of course, his last show, he picks his alma mater, right? He went to Florida State over Alabama. Of course he should. It's his last show. And you tweeted something like, what was your tweet? Do you remember?
You don't have it pulled up?
It's
something of the effect of
I'll throw it on the screen.
Yeah.
It's this right here. I'll put it on the screen, post-production. There it is. You said he saved his worst professional take for the last day of his career.
I did say that.
Okay.
I did.
And then what happened?
And then Alabama looked like a group of 5 team there for a while. I don't know what happened. I feel worse for Alabama fans than I do myself personally, but I was actually sitting in a hospital because my second daughter was born on Thursday, and so I was just sitting there. I had college game day going on my laptop all day and watching a few games here and there, and I just was like, it was obviously an aggressively worded tweet, but I was saying it jokingly, like, I just thought there was no way that Florida State, given what they did last year, given what I thought Alabama was going to be coming out of the gate, tweeted it out and had a couple buddies like at halftime, like, hey, you have this tweet up. Like, you sure you want to keep this up? And I'm like, yeah, let's just roll with it. Like, why not? And as the game started to look more bleak for Alabama, started to get some replies, started to get some people, going. And then, fast forward to Saturday night, my phone was literally like, it was like somebody was calling me like nonstop trying to find my phone. Like it was just bzz, bzz, bzz. And I don't know why people ran with it. Like there's been a million different bad takes on Twitter about bad predictions and things like that. But for some reason, mine resonated with some people. And so
and what's the count? What's the final count in terms of
I think it had like 13 million views or something like that, unfortunately. So
13 million views. And some of the comments, we were talking about this before we hit record. Some of the comments were not particularly they weren't PG. They weren't kind.
No, some people took it very personally, what I said.
See, now the funny thing is we know you, and I read it. I was like, this is the most sarcastic tweet ever.
Right.
Like,
right.
You're just you're throwing shade at a legend because we expected Alabama to win. And I was like, this is a funny tweet from Mike. And actually, I saw it. I saw it when it had about 2 million views. And I was like, oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it right now, boys. 12.8 million views is where it's sitting right now.
Yeah. So, I mean, to be honest, like a lot of people
the community note is elite.
Yeah, the community note, not so fast, my friend. I mean, that's probably honestly where it took off even further. But I will say this, like, a lot of people were telling me right when the game ended to like delete it. Like, no, I'm not going to delete it. I had the take. I'm going to stand behind it. I'm going to take my L. And I got cooked for basically 2 days straight, but that's fine. That's what you deal with on Twitter. That's why I'm there. So if you're going to say something, you stick behind it, and life goes on. What do you do?
I think it's great.
Props to Lee Corso. I think he was 6-0 on the day on picks.
Yeah,
He was. Yeah.
What
a way to go.
I seriously, like, I know he's going to pick Florida State because that's his alma mater.
Yeah.
I seriously don't understand how they won that. Like, Alabama's in trouble this year. If that, like, I don't think
Florida State good.
I don't think I mean, I think they're solid, but like, they're not a top 10 team in the country or anything like that.
The Tony White effect.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah.
There. There was some replies about Tony White, like, this guy's just mad because Tony White left and whatever.
Did you say no, it's James Williams?
Yeah.
Are we? I wasn't a part of the pod when this happened, but are we willing to maybe go back to the James Williams comments and be like, okay, maybe there's talent there that as a fan base we weren't willing to recognize? I wasn't on the hate on James Williams train for those comments, and we don't need to get into all of that, but like, is this an eye-opener where maybe we're like, I kind of get it now?
I mean, he graded pretty poorly for that game.
He graded poorly, but the rest of the defense didn't.
Yeah.
I will say, though,
you're referring to his comments about all the
Nebraska.
talent around
yes.
compared to Nebraska. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I don't know. They manhandled Alabama, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm willing to concede it. That maybe he's right. My thought is, are you going to be able to, as a team, put that talent together to win games or not? Yeah, you beat Alabama. Alabama lost to 2 6-6 teams last year. So I agree with actually, I want to get your thoughts, all of your thoughts on kind of nationally. What I saw a lot of average football all weekend long. I don't think there were a lot of elite teams. Honestly, when I was watching Texas and Ohio State, there's 2-3 loss teams that I'm watching right now. Texas and Florida State and Alabama. And I thought, okay, Alabama, I could see them losing 4 games. I could also see Florida State dropping 2 or 3 in the ACC. They just didn't strike me. Even Florida State, with all their talent, just didn't strike me as elite. There's probably a lot of talent. Sure. Can you put it together to win games?
It's a Florida school. I mean,
it's a Florida school.
Yeah. So part of what James White said isn't that far-fetched because it's a Southern school. It's, they're essentially an SEC type team. So, but yeah, we'll see what they can do long-term here.
I think across college football, I'm not taking a whole lot of stock in week 1.
Mm-hmm.
Just because everybody looked like they were knocking the rust off. And I think that's something that you're going to see a lot more with rev share and NIL and transfer
100%.
portal. Like, the rev share really changed a lot this year, plus roster limits as they get imposed. I think you're going to see a lot more rough week 1s.
Mm-hmm.
I will go back and say that I'm not retracting, but like Mike, I'm owning. Or I think Oregon's better than I expected them to be. I said on this pod that I thought they were probably going to be a little overrated. They were a team that came out and handled business in a way that they didn't last year. So maybe they're for real this year.
It's so funny though. Like, when you look back at last year, it took Oregon's offense like a while to mesh, and eventually they hit their stride. And for a while there, they looked like the best team in the country until they ran into Ohio State in the Rose Bowl. But something I thought about kind of Sunday morning, like bigger picture, is I think the gap has widened from like lower level FBS, like group of 5, group of 6. Like, I think those teams are going to, and this has been talked about ad nauseum, but like those teams are going to slowly start to just fade, because anytime there's talent at those schools, it's going to just get scooped up by bigger programs. But I think at the top end of college football, I think we're going to start to see more parity probably than we ever have before. Like, this year might be an exception, but like there's, when you talk about no one really stood out, I think a big part of that is because so many of these bigger schools have started over at quarterback. Like so many outside of like LSU,
100%.
LSU has Nussmeier, Klubnik at Clemson. Some of these schools have had a guy sitting there, at the lead for a while, but some of these schools are completely starting from scratch. Like Ohio State and Texas, that game was like clear as day. They didn't want to really push it on their quarterback. It was just a defensive battle trying to stay in the game type of situation. So bigger picture college football, I'm very interested this year, into future years. Like, what does the parity look like? I don't think we're going to have these like dynasty type runs that we used to have because there's just too much ebbs and flows of money in, money out, and roster turnover and things like that. So,
yeah, James, I like what you had reposted. I think Mike Wilbon speaking, and it was kind of like a pointing out the hypocrisy there, like just overblowing things early in the year, trying to create storylines from like the major media. I mean, Arch Manning is obviously front and center, and a lot of that. The guy had, 2 or 3 commercials during their game, and he comes out and puts out a dud. So, yeah, I think that's like, to quote the great Lee Corso, "Not so fast, my friend." Like, I think we gotta check things out, suspend our judgment. Let's get through kind of the non-con season before we just start crowning people this year. And I love that. I like to see some of the powers go down and some of the old powers start coming back. And it gives me hope for our team. So
agree. Yeah, I just don't think everything has to be the most amazing thing we've ever seen every time we tune in. I think people are going to watch college football. They don't need to hear that Arch Manning is the greatest athlete to walk on a field since, Tim Tebow, which isn't even that long ago. Like, we are going to watch because we love the sport, because we love the pageantry, we love the tradition, we love the schools, we love the rivalries. That's why we tune in. I don't need to hear Gus Johnson tell me, oh, he's the greatest everything. Like, every guy that Gus Johnson calls is the greatest. Every guy. Yeah. It's every guy. And that is like you said, Alex, like, let's just let things play out. Don't, I mean, I get it. It's marketing, it's television, but then what happens is you get a game like Ohio State and Texas where you're like, man, this was actually a really boring football game, but it is what we got. It's okay. Yeah. What I do love, despite the system kind of being a little messy, right? NIL, transfer portal. I love that all those schools that lost week 1, their season is not over.
Yeah.
They have a lot to play for. 10 years ago, guys, their season was over. Mm-hmm. It was done. You lose playoff. When does the playoff start? Was it 2014? How long have we been doing a playoff?
Oh, geez. I don't even know.
10 years now, I believe.
10-ish years, yeah.
Yeah. So let's say 11 years ago, their season was done. And they didn't have a hope. And that's not the case anymore.
Yeah. And to Mike's point, I think I've been beating this drum for a while. Like, I think parity amongst all Power 4 schools is going to reach a level that it hasn't been in a while. Now, Mike, I will push back. I think for the short term, you're right that the gap will widen between the group of 5s. But I see a real world in the next decade where that gap shrinks a little bit because some of those programs become like your old version of a junior college where it becomes a feeder program for a big school. Yeah. Like, I could see a South Dakota State or Nebraska or North Dakota State doing regular games with Nebraska where, like, when the roster limits are fully intact, hey, go here, develop. We're going to pay North Dakota State a couple $1 million to come in and play us every year. And then when you're developed, we'll bring you on here. I see that coming.
But, like, how are those schools going to reach their peak then if they're, if it feels almost like the Kansas City Royals. It's like anytime they have somebody that's good, somebody else just waits until they're a free agent, and that, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, I don't think they ever get to their. I don't think they ever get to their peak, but I think those programs become competitive, and it'll be 3-4 year runs where they're really bad, and then they have that 1 year where everybody's developed, and they get them for 1 year, and then they transfer out.
Yeah. And to be honest, like, I think some of those schools like you're referring to, I think they are competitive right now too. Like,
Yeah.
North Dakota just gave Kansas State a run for their money into the fourth quarter. So, 100%.
I think one other thing to mention that we learned is America loves to see a 19-year-old emulate one of his heroes on the football field, because Dylan Raiola is now like America's darling, isn't he? Kidding. And Taylor Swift likes Nebraska football.
How about that? How about another banger of a tweet? How about the Huskers tweeting out that change of plans with Herbie embracing Taylor Swift, and then they deleted it. They did delete it. Did you see that, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you see the rumors that I saw them on a Twitter thread? Like the Swifties went and found they went and found an old job posting at the University of Nebraska in the media department, found the person the hiring manager for that, and started doxing them.
Yeah, I don't know.
I heard about that.
That's insane.
I don't know if that's confirmed, but I did.
I would love to know the behind the scenes of like what admin at Nebraska saw that tweet and was like, "Hey, you need to like take that down." Like, hey, or is it just some, I'm assuming that's a younger person that's tweeting that out. Like, did they have the self-awareness to be like, this probably shouldn't stay up? Or is this like some older person like putting the axe down on them on the, I'd love to know.
It was such an innocuous tweet. Like there was nothing like bad.
No,
it was the caption for me.
That's what makes college sports great.
Change of plans. Oh my gosh.
If you want to talk about some tweets that might have crossed the line, let's talk about TCU's football account last night.
Holy cow.
They do not care.
Regarding
that account is always like that.
Yeah. Like I don't think they like actually crossed any lines. Like they flirted in the gray a little bit, but if you want to talk about tweets that should be taken down from official accounts, like TCU takes the cake over Nebraska there.
I tell you what, Alex, I actually went to their account because I was like, surely this is actually a parody. I'm like looking at the handle to see, sometimes they throw like a 1 for an I or a plus for a T. And I was like, it's got to be a parody. And I was like, no, this is legit. This is the real thing. This is really TCU's account.
Was it TCU football or TCU athletics?
TCU football. And
they've been edgy for years.
They released a really crappy video, and one of the fans was like, "Why do you make these so bad all the time? But I love them," or something like that.
They were borderline. Yeah. All right, let's shift here to Husker football. Mike, curious to know your thoughts as you were kind of sitting in that hospital room, holding your new kid, watching the game. How you were feeling as the game was going on. I know you were tired, long day.
Yeah.
But how were you feeling about football?
It was a long day, but initially during the game, and I'm very well known for doing this, I'm going to like overreact to the situation immediately. And then like the game ended and Friday came and Saturday came, and I went back and like rewatched a lot of the highlights, kind of essentially rewatched the game. And like while I was watching the game, I was like, I feel like we are getting just absolutely gashed defensively. Like it didn't feel good to me. And then I go back and like watch highlights, and Sorsby was responsible for more rushing yards than I felt like he was in the game. I'm not going to call him like Johnny Manziel here, but he feels like a like poor man's Johnny Manziel, where it's like you just can't get a hand on him. He's going to make something out of nothing. Like he plays off script all the time. Yeah. And those quarterbacks are like infuriating to play against. You know what I mean? Like you have the right scheme set up and everything, and then he just like gets out of the pocket and goes for 15 yards type of thing. So
John Butler said that today in his press conference. He's like, basically he just freelances after the first read. It's not there. He just does what he wants. And that's a hard quarterback to defend, because now at this point it's just schoolyard football. Yeah.
It's like like you can do everything right. And if you just don't get in the right position or the right angle, whatever, he's going for 20 yards. So I think defensively, I feel a little bit better than where like we didn't give up anything in the air to them at all. My biggest concern going into the year was the secondary, and I feel exponentially better now about where we're at. Who knows?
Agree.
Maybe we'll see a better offense in the air in the future, and it might change. But run defense still needs to be better. And then we just have to finish drives offensively. I think that game should have been a double-digit win. Like, I think everyone probably agrees with that. Could have done a lot better. Finish the drives. We had the Pritchett false start there. Put you back at the 6, but then just like score the touchdown anyway. Like, just score.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
You have 2 misreads at the inside the 6, like
right
on pass plays. Like,
yeah, like it's. Even if Pritchett false start, we can't just blame Pritchett for not scoring it. Like, score the touchdown anyway. It's 1st and goal at the 6-yard line. Score the touchdown. Like, that's it. So, so all in all, finish drives. I feel pretty good. Like, do I feel way better than I felt prior to the game? Like, a little bit, maybe. I'm glad we won, took care of business, but just stay healthy through these next 2 weeks. And then we get to see Bryce Underwood here. So we'll see.
That'll be an adventure. Alex, Andrew, we talked Saturday night late. Any different thoughts, feelings in the last 3 days?
no real different thoughts or feelings for me. I think today's press conferences kind of are able to allow me to more adequately explain my position of not being worried after that game on Friday. Sure. Like, first off, I thought the defense was way better than their numbers showed. We held their running backs to under 100 yards. Yeah. Sorsby got loose a couple of times. And I went back and I rewatched it. Like, the couple of times he broke loose, we had a spy on him. Spy went to fill a gap, and they actually had like a pulling guard or a tackle for that spy. And that's just not a common design on a pass play. Yeah. So that's just weird. But I think, like, James, you and I talked, everybody was livid about the offense not scoring more points. People were telling me it looks the same thing as last year, which, one, no, it doesn't.
No.
At all.
100%
like,
no.
Not even close. There's one, maybe two plays that entire game where I'm like, we probably didn't need to call that there. Yeah. One was a jet sweep to Barney in a spot that it didn't really make sense, but you're trying to get a playmaker the ball. The other one is the one to Bonner that he ultimately got hurt on. Like, but I get it because he's going to fight for those extra yards too. Those are the only two that I'm like, we probably could have done something else, but they were fine.
Yep.
But Dana's press conference today is exactly why I wasn't worried. Like,
yep,
we need to be more explosive. I'm not happy with how many people we made miss tackles and didn't make miss. We've got to get more shots. Like, for the first time in a long time, I'm totally confident in both coordinators, not only because they're good, but because I'm confident that they have complete control for the first time.
Yep.
Ever in my lifetime. I mean, going back to Frank, like, they have complete control, and I trust that.
So let's kind of double click on that. So was it Monday's press conference? Yesterday, Matt Rule said, Emmett basically got all the touches. I didn't like that backup running backs didn't play, but that was Dana's call.
Mm-hmm.
That was fascinating to hear.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know if that stood out to you guys, but I just thought he just admitted he didn't like that. He's the head coach. He could have said, I overrule that, put in Nelson. He didn't. He said, but Dana decided this. I trusted him. And I thought, that's the sweet spot. Yeah. That's where Matt Rule needs to be, because he's the coach, but he's not with those offensive players as much as Dana is.
Yep.
Yep. He's not with the defensive players as much as John Butler and Phil Snow are.
Now, there was also a notable quote in the offseason where he, on the flip side of that, referenced a call that, or a time last year, Iowa, I think the Wisconsin game, where he told Holgorsen to do A, B, C, whatever it was. Holgorsen didn't, and it worked out in in Holgerson's favor, and Rule said, you know what, that's why he's the, so I think Rule is showing it goes both ways. Like, not always going to love the call he makes, but he may not always love the call I make. And that just shows that humility too, that Rule can be wrong sometimes too. So,
and that's the beauty of having like Dana Holgerson there, is he does not, like, he's going to do what he wants to do, because
feelings aren't going to get hurt. Yeah.
Right. He has the platform based off his career to be able to have the autonomy to do that. Like, if that was Satterfield, that's not like Satterfield's doing
no
what
shot.
Rule's doing. Like, Holgerson can tell him politely to just go away. I'm calling this way.
Leave me alone. Let me do my job.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And now Matt Rule gets to focus on the two things that have driven me crazy for a long time. Well, one of his, and one that has just driven me crazy since we've been in the Big Ten. He gets to really focus on working the officials in an effective manner.
Yep.
And two, being all in on what's happening and being able to make better clock management decisions.
Yeah.
Instead of having to worry about personnel and things like that, like, he's just there.
Yeah.
I saw people commenting on that after the game. Oh, I hated the clock. I hated the game management. And I thought, that's just a stock complaint that you pulled out from last year, because there was nothing in that game that I came away with thinking their game management sucked.
Unless you're talking about the 4th and 2, which I loved that call anyways. Like, what?
And if Raiola makes he made the read, he just didn't throw the ball. It's first down, easy pitch and catch.
People have for a long time criticized Andy Reid's game management and use of time and clock management and all that. It's just every coach is going to have their ways, their quirks, and backseat, coaches watching at home. It's easy to pick out.
But Matt has had some like really bad black eyes. Like last year, the Illinois Challenge, it was obviously a first down, no doubt about it. And you're just challenging over 1 yard between the 6 and the 5. Like, that's a waste.
Yep.
Right. So I don't know. Like, from a game management standpoint, I didn't think there was anything to write home about.
I will say,
but to your point about stock complaints, the other stock complaint from this week is explosive plays. Everybody's saying that.
Yep. And I was glad that Dana brought that up. I mean, he's right, and yet we know why there weren't as many explosive plays. And I think Cincinnati runs a Big 12 kind of defense, knowing every game could be 35-42. And they're not going to change that when they play a Big 10 team. So I'm not worried about that at all, especially knowing who our wideouts are. You throw in, Harburg and a Carter Nelson, Emmett Johnson. This team will find explosive plays. They will.
Yeah, and nothing changed for me. I felt, watching all of college football, I felt like we're kind of, lump us in with again, we talked about this, the ones that had a little bit of rust to knock off. It wasn't the most marquee matchup, but I will say, just from a exposure standpoint, it was probably one of the more entertaining games on. I mean, obviously the time slot it had, but the Arrowhead, all the hubbub around it. So as a fan, like, we won the game, we're on a huge stage, and like, you go back and watch that recap, and it was just theater. It was fun. It was fun to watch. Yeah. Hopefully we have more of that.
There is a conference team that won 34-7 this weekend that does not feel as good about their team, their offense specifically, going into the game as Nebraska does this weekend.
Who's that?
Iowa.
Oh, jeez.
65 yards passing, whatever it is. Yeah.
There's no way Iowa can feel comfortable headed into that Iowa State game this week offensively. Like,
I can't see a situation where Iowa wins that game.
Iowa State opened -2.5 too, and I missed it. I think it's almost out to 3.5. I was like, gosh darn it. I don't know. I'll be shocked if Iowa wins that game. I'll just say that'll be my next Lee Corso tweet, probably.
Where's that at?
It's in Ames. I'd be
Ames.
shocked if Iowa throws for 100 yards.
I don't know.
I watched some of that game. You know, I used to live near Albany. Albany's an FCS school. Albany football it's probably not too far. I probably should say this. It's not like it's that far above like Texas 5A, right? Albany, Iowa,
Just say
a
it.
Big Ten
Just say it.
team should, a Big Ten team should never perform that way when they play Albany.
Should have imposed.
It's unacceptable. Yeah, you should be able to impose your will. You could probably make the argument Iowa shouldn't have needed to throw the football in that game. And the fact that they did and they tried and they threw for 44 yards and a few of the passes were just honestly embarrassing. So I don't want to pick on, was it Gronowski?
Gronowski.
Yeah. You know, I don't want to belittle him, but it was bad. It looked really bad.
No, they looked like an 8-9 win Iowa team.
Yeah, I don't think he'll do that bad the rest of the year. But that was bad.
So how do you do that against an FCS school?
Right.
Is it just nerves?
They're still working. I mean, first year in the system, I think, especially I don't think it's the easiest scheme for a quarterback either. Like they don't do anything making it easy it's not like Josh Heupel's Tennessee system. Like,
sure.
So I think they'll be okay too. But
well, they'll be 1-1 after this week.
Oh boy,
there won't be a not so.
Market.
Mike, one more question before we look at Akron. I'm curious how you were feeling on the last drive. Of course, I know what your response was in our group chat. But I mean, what were you like? I was nervous. I had another group thread with some friends of mine, and I just said, we're going to lose this game, aren't we? Because I fell into the fan PTSD. I got nervous. Yeah. And I thought, like, this is the exact nightmare we've all lived over and over and over again. We couldn't close it out in the 4 to 5 minute drill. We had to punt the ball back. They have the ball with 2 minutes left. They're going to go down and score, and we're only going to have 16 seconds lleft.
Defensive holding.
There's going to be a pass interference, a defensive holding, a face mask, a late hit, personal foul. So I was in a dark place.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like it's one of those things we've been so emotionally trained to just like go to that dark place because of years and years of, experience. But it was nice. It was nice to see I think it was that drive that Malcolm had the pass interference or holding?
Yeah, the holding.
Yeah, he had a,
and then he gave a first down. Yeah.
Yeah. So like he had a couple.
I think the hold was the play before too.
Very play before.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Had a couple negative plays there, and then to see him come back and make one to end the game, like that was pretty cool. So it's tough. Like I think honestly, if we're in that situation again against Michigan, I'm going to feel the same way. I think it takes some time to for myself emotionally to kind of build some trust to not feel like, hey, we can win these 1-score games. But that's probably not the best answer. But it as a fan, like it is my answer. You know what I mean? Like it's been that bad for so long that it's hard not to go to that place.
Well, let's hope
the team knows they can pull those out.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't matter how I feel. Like as long as those guys in the locker room and the coaches are like, let's go get it done. That's what matters the most.
100%. I just wrote today, I think Nebraska actually needed that kind of a game because they need to believe that they can win those kind of games. They've shown when everything goes their way, they can put a team away, right? The Purdue's of the world, Wisconsin last year, Illinois 2 years ago at Illinois. Okay, they can do that. What they haven't shown consistently is that they can beat a team when it's a 1-score game, put them away. They can make the play at the end of the game. And I'm glad that they did that. And I think that confidence is going to pay dividends down the road. Now, when Michigan comes to town, I hope we're up by 10 with 2 minutes left when Michigan gets the ball. I don't want to be up by 3, but I think it's a good thing that they won that game by Probably wouldn't have said that, in the afternoon right before the game. I would have been like, nope, let's win this by 21. But hindsight, I'm glad it was a 1-score game.
And we talked about it too. Like, we're what, 3-4 missed plays from having 2 more scores on the board, and you are walking away from that game pretty comfortable. So
Right.
Just a couple small things to iron out.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk Akron. The Zips lost to Wyoming 10-0. I think Akron has one of the worst offenses after one game in the country. Their defense is undersized. Defensive line isn't anything to write home about. This is a rematch of the game that wasn't. 7 years ago, it's Scott Frost's first game. 7 years ago would have been 2018.
Yeah.
Lightning cut it short. Never got played after a kickoff.
Best seats.
I think I sent out a tweet to Akron that says you can stay in my basement in Southwest Lincoln. Let's play this game tomorrow. They didn't take me up on it. What are you guys looking for going into this game? I'd ask for keys to victory, but we know what those are. They're gonna win the game. They're the better team. But what are you hoping to see in this game?
I would like to see us establish a second and third running back here. I thought Mekhi Nelson looked a little bit hesitant. Mosey looked a little bit hesitant on some of his carries. So if the plan is like with Mosey to not redshirt him, like these are going to be the games here to get those guys comfortable and to just feel comfortable in a college football game. I would say that. I would say get a little more continuity with the defensive line here, maybe get a few sacks, get some run stop. And then my third thing would be to just stay healthy, to just keep everyone good to go going into Houston Christian.
And those will be your exact same things you're looking for the next week against Houston Christian.
Maybe adding in like for Houston Christian, like let's see what TJ Lateef can do. Somebody like that.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Yeah, I think for me, like I want to see Emmett with no more than 15 touches. Like,
agree.
Don't put too many miles on him. Get those backup running backs touches. I mean, I think last week between the two of them, they had 3 total touches and 2 carries. Like, that's not enough to even let you know what you have. Like, that's why I'm not worried yet, because I have no idea. Like, I want to see Dylan have a breakout game. Like, it's not against a quality opponent, but I was talking about it with my boss today in my office. I don't know if Dylan has had a 300-yard game yet in Nebraska. Not. So let's get him a 305 and 3 scores or whatever it is. Like, go out there, do that. I want to see the defense. Like, you had 2 turnovers on Thursday. I want to see 4 turnovers this week. Like, I want to see your ability to turn the ball over consistently.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, and I think Rule spoke on the special teams about there weren't any big game breaking plays. So that's what I would like to see, a block punt. He referenced that where they had a couple guys get close, but not get a hand on the ball. So block punt, or there was a lot of hyperbole about the return game coming into the year. So maybe this is a game where Ja'Cory can break some of those return yards, and then change the narrative on the big play offense stuff. I totally agree with Alex. Like, let's have Raiola have that stat line that kind of catches your eye if you're just a casual fan.
Yeah.
Projects him, throws him a little bit more into the hype train for the rest of the year. But so it should be one of those games. I mean, just have fun with it. I want to be entertained. So, as a fan,
did Eckler say in his
his
media time this week that they missed a block that they should have had a kick return for a touchdown? Did I see that?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
I think Rule said the first kickoff should have been a return for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whether things are just coach speak, but if the coaches are saying it, if I'm the players, I'm like, this is against a severe inferior opponent. Let's go out and have fun with it and prove those things. Yeah. So
I think the big play stuff is important because I also think that is a confidence thing. Once you do it, you know you can do it. So yeah, Akron's not a world beater. They're not a quality opponent, but you got to put something on film for Michigan to think about, right? Because then that really opens up what I like, kind of that second level passing game, which we know Dylan is so good at, right? But that's not going to be there if Michigan doesn't have to defend a deep pass. They never think we're going to do it. So you got to put something on film to keep people honest. But I also think, Dylan did not throw a great deep ball at times last year. And I think he needs to get into a rhythm so that he can rest assured, man, I can do this. I can make those completions. And you got 3 receivers, if you throw Barney in there, who can go deep and come down with one, take it into the end zone. We would have had a deep pass if Hunter had stayed on his feet on the one long pass we did throw last week. And defender fell down and he fell down with him. But I think that's going to be key. And I agree with you, Mike, on the defensive side. I want to see them really figure out who are going to be those guys on the defensive line they can trust.
Yeah. I didn't say this earlier, but I think I was a little disappointed in the pass rush. Like last year we had the run stop, like we had the size there with Ty and Nash, and I was never worried about the run. Like I think we've substituted a little bit of the run defense for some athleticism up front, but like that means on passing downs, like we need to get after the quarterback.
You got to get home.
Yeah.
And there were a couple times I think Rule had mentioned with like Noweri, he lined up a little bit too far wide on one of his rushes and just didn't get home. And so I think, again, we talked about this on Saturday night. That was you won the game, you beat a quality opponent, but at the end of the day, it's a film game where now these guys get to go back and say, oh man, and Rule pointed that out yesterday. He's like, oh, like once guys see themselves on tape, they can go, shoot, like I got to fix that. And I can fix that. But now that I can see myself doing it, now I know what I need to fix. I wouldn't be surprised to see them make big strides this week. It's going to be hard to say that because they're playing Akron, but hopefully the little things can get tweaked and get fixed. All right, let's do some predictions here before we close it out. I'd love an oddly specific prediction from everybody, and then your score prediction. Andrew, I know you love the oddly specific predictions. So what do you got?
So I have Dylan running for a touchdown in this game.
Whoa.
And I have Emmett throwing for a touchdown in this game.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh.
Really putting something on tape for Michigan there.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Is it going to be like the old Marlon Lucky toss to a pass? Is that what
was
we're
a
going to
great
see?
play.
Yeah. It won't be too Dylan. I don't know who's going to catch the pass, but I'm thinking, at the 30-yard line type of thing, and somebody wheel route along the sideline, and
I'd love it. Bring it
hits
on. Bring it on. Mike or Alex, what do you got?
Go ahead, Alex.
I have Dylan completing a 55-yard plus touchdown pass.
Okay. Love it.
Probably on a tunnel screen to Barney. But which actually I would love more than like a broken play, because that means you executed the blocking too.
You block it.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. My first prediction is we're going to actually play this game against Akron this year. So
Let me check
weather,
the forecast right now.
yeah, somewhere
Great.
I jinxed it there.
No, I already jinxed it on Twitter earlier this week, and people called me out for it.
Hey, if you're wrong, Mike, maybe we get 13 million views on this video.
Yeah, there you go. Clip it. My second prediction, I'm going to go Mekhi Nelson 2 touchdowns Saturday.
Whoa, hey.
I'll go
all
Mekhi
right.
Nelson 2 touchdowns. So there you
By
go.
the way, 71 and sunny with a
Beautiful.
2% chance of precipitation on Saturday night.
So you're
This is
telling me
where I
there's a
remind you
chance.
that this
There's a
is
chance.
the Midwest.
Yeah.
I know. I know. The days around it are looking good. Friday looks great. Actually, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday are top 10 days.
Stop.
Top 10 days. Top 10 days. No rain. You're not even nothing. Okay. My oddly specific prediction is that Sear Wright is going to have a pick six, a 32-yard interception return for a touchdown.
Okay.
Incredibly specific. So,
Yes.
all right. What's your score prediction for the game?
All right. I'm going 45-10. I'm going to give them 10. I know it's not going to be perfect defensively, but 45-10.
I'm gonna go 54-7.
Holy moly. 41-7. I got 41-7.
All right.
If we score in the 50s, I'm going to be ecstatic. I would love that. That'd be
yeah.
great.
It's
I'm going to say 42-3. Woo. Keep them from the end zone, but we give up a field goal. 42-3. I think the defense responds in a big way. I also don't trust Akron very much. So,
Okay.
Hey, when's the last time we scored 50 points?
probably that Northwestern game,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Save
the
your bet.
funnest game of the Scott Frost era, where we all thought
We're back.
for one night we're back.
And we all thought, what's the running back's name? We thought he was
Was it
Yeah.
that
Yant?
Jacquez
Yant?
Yant.
Jacquez
Jacquez
Yant.
Yant.
Yeah.
We
and
thought he
that
was the second
word.
coming of Ron Dane.
He looked like Leonard Fournette that night.
He did.
Yep.
Did he ever carry the ball again after that game at Nebraska?
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
Unforgettably.
Do you think we score 50? Well, I'm not even going to ask about the following week because this week will tell us everything we need to know.
Yeah.
Houston Christian's an FCS team, right?
Yes.
Okay. See, the thing about these kind of games is if it's 35-0 at halftime, let's say it's 35-0 at halftime. Dylan's not going to play. He'll play one series and he's done. And then you might not score. I don't know.
Right. That's kind of what I thought. I could see the bulk of it coming first half, and then yeah, whether it's just foot off the gas a little bit, try some different things, different players. That's all right. They're beneficial for that.
I do. I hope everybody gets to play. All right, we'll wrap it up there. Appreciate you guys. Love talking to all four of you. Mike, it's good to have you back.
Let's go.
All right. Well, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the game. Hopefully we'll see you with a reaction. Be another late night. Mike will probably be asleep, but that's all right. He's a new dad for second time. All right, everybody. We'll take care. We'll see you next time. Go Big Red.